Coming up on Sports Night. The football team goes to battle with the Spartans in a crucial Big Ten matchup.
Women's soccer goes on the road to take on Rutgers.
And the field hockey team looks to find its footing in conference play. Patrick, the leaves are falling, temperatures dropping. The best time in sports is right around the corner.
And that's right, Evan. Baseball playoffs, college and professional football, the NHL, and the NBA is back in a matter of days. What a time to be a sports fan.
And of course, it's Thursday night, which means Sports Night is back on the air, and it starts right now. Solid.
Welcome back to Sports Night. I'm Pat Timlin.
And I'm Evan Denton. Pat, you're just starting off here at Northwestern. How are you liking it so far?
Well, Wildcat Welcome was a bit of an adventure, but I enjoyed it. Evan, you're entering year 4, right?
That is very true, yeah.
I can tell. There's a couple of gray hairs coming in on the chin.
Ah, the new guys coming in with jokes. All right. But you know what else old-timers like? Some Saturday afternoon football. Northwestern came out of the gates blazing, knocking off Purdue in its season opener. But after back-to-back losses, the Wildcats found themselves reeling a bit. The first chance at redemption, the Michigan Wolverines. Let's see how they did. Northwestern hosting the number 14th ranked Michigan Wolverines at Ryan Field. Early in the first, Joe Gaziano and Ernest Brown, the fourth, combined for a sack on the shifty Shea Patterson for a huge third down stop. A few moments later, quarterback Clayton Thornton scores his first rushing touchdown of the season. Cats get on the board first, 7-0. Now, closing out the first, Charlie Kubander gets a chance to increase the lead from 45 yards out, and it's going. It's a career long for the sophomore, and it makes the Cats lead 10-0. Second quarter now. It's all Cats. Junior running back John Moten IV increases the lead to 17. We've got a ball game here, folks. But we know the story of the season so far. That was all the points the Cats could get on the night. Michigan would complete the comeback with this Karan Higdon touchdown. Cats fall to the Wolverines, 20-17. What a heartbreaker.
Now, after that tough loss, the Cats head to East Lansing to face off against the Michigan State Spartans, who have shown signs of weakness all season, as they were upset early in the season by Arizona State. The Cats, on the other hand, are looking to continue their success against the Spartans, keeping that momentum from last year's triple overtime thriller in Evanston. Evan, I'm sure you remember that.
Yes, I do.
Cool. Picking it up in the first quarter, Coach Fitch said this game was important for the course of the Cats season and a must-win. Here we got Clayton Thorson on the play action. Big block here by the right guard, clearing up the passing lane as Thorson throws a bomb down the field, 77 yards. And it catches it, runs for the touchdown, the longest touchdown pass of Thorson's career. Next play, we got J.J. Jefferson on the diving catch. Pass put in the perfect spot by Thorson there. Oh, man, that's a pocket pass. Cats head into the second half, up 14-10, but Michigan State is looking to respond. Quarterback Brian Lurkey throws it to the corner of the end zone, and it's caught there by Michigan State player Felton Davis, who had both of the Sparty's touchdowns, one receiving and one rushing. We move to the end of the third quarter, and another touchdown pass there by Thorson, 21-yarder to C.J. Green. Then we go to the fourth quarter. Michigan State gets stopped by the Northwestern defense, who then go on to score again, clinching the win, 29-19. Now, to get some insight on the football season, we've brought in Davis Rich here, co-editor-in-chief of Inside NU, who's been covering the Cats season all season long. Now, Davis, through the first 4 games of the season, the Cats scored 13 second-half points. Last Saturday, the Cats scored 15 second-half points. Now, what did you see different in this Cats offense this past week that got them on the board the second half?
Well, it was certainly refreshing. I think there were a couple important things. First, the explosive passing play came back for Northwestern. 3 long touchdown passes, one to Kyrick McGowan, one to Cam Green, one to J.J. Jefferson. And we saw a great performance from the offensive line as well. They gave Clayton Thorson the time he needed, And it was vintage Thorson. He was just on Saturday. He looked great. The Cats responded to adversity in the second half, and they scored those 2 touchdowns.
Nice. Now looking at this Wildcat defense, they've only forced 2 turnovers over the last 4 games. What changes does Coach Fitzgerald have to make to this defense to come alive and start getting the ball back?
Well, I think defense is kind of all about opportunism. There's not really like a structural adjustment you can make to get a turnover per se. Northwestern's been missing a couple playmakers. Nate Hall, who was a big disruptive linebacker, has been out for the last few games, and Greg Newsom, who's one of the best cover corners, has also been out. So I think there's going to be a new guy who's going to need to step up. We saw Chris Bergen play really well instead of Nate Hall this past weekend. But I think what's going to have to happen is the defensive line's really going to have to step up. Look to Joe Gaziano. He's one of the best defensive ends in the Big Ten. Maybe a forced fumble, a sack, something like that. That'll be a big play Northwestern needs.
Back on this idea of stepping up, finally we have to address the running game. Last year, Justin Jackson, all-time leading rusher for Northwestern, leaves for the NFL. This year, it looks like the next great Northwestern back is here with Jeremy Larkin, but unfortunately, he's forced to retire and move into a student coach role. Who do you see as the new lead running back for the rest of the season?
It's kind of been all over the place so far. It looked like it was going to be John Moten, the senior, but I think he's been overtaken by Solomon Vaught, who's a converted wide receiver, and actually a freshman in Drake Anderson. Drake Anderson's the son of Damian Anderson, who's one of the greatest running backs in Northwestern history. And those guys really struggled against the Michigan State defense, the number 1 rush defense in the country. They only had 15 carries for 18 yards. But it's going to be on those 2 guys. I think what you might expect Northwestern to do is instead of actually running the ball, you're going to see them try to mimic the run with screen passes to guys like Flynn Nagel. We saw them do that a lot on Saturday. So moving forward, I wouldn't expect Northwestern to be running the ball that much. Mick McCall pretty much abandoned the run in the second quarter against Michigan State. It's going to be a lot more passing.
All right, Davis, thank you so much for all this time. Everyone be sure to check out his stuff on Inside NU. It was really a pleasure to have you on the show this week, and hopefully we see you again.
Appreciate it.
And coming up after the break, we head to the pitch to take a look at the women's soccer team. Don't go anywhere.
At Northwestern, we're
Davis,
Wildcats in every way.
Break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Now, Evan, if I asked you who is one of the more underrated teams on campus, what would your answer be?
That's a very good question, but there are a few contenders, and I would say probably the women's soccer team. The women's soccer team has quietly put together a very successful season entering conference play. Let's see if they can knock off the Rutgers Scarlet Knights on the road. Roll the tape. Cats go on the road to Piscataway, New Jersey. In the first half, Tierney Wiltshire with a shot, but it's saved by Northwestern's Mackenzie Wood. What a player. Now on to the second half, Kayla Sharples with the header, but it goes, oh, so close, but off the post. A little bit later, Kaylee Stallschmidt misses the shot from inside the 6, and we go to overtime. And it's Amara Ali, the Big Ten leading goal scorer, who finds the back of the net and gives Rutgers the 1-0 victory in overtime. Now moving on to the Maryland match. In the first half, Maryland's Jarena Harmon goes past the defender and beats the goalie with this sensational finish. Maryland up 1-0. A bit later, Maryland's Lauren Sefcik just squeaks it by the goalie. Maryland leads 2-0. But the Cats would not go away. In the second half, Marissa Vigiano passes it from the corner to Brenna Lavera, who converts. Cats down 2-1, but the Cats would not pull it out and lose 2-1. Now, the women's soccer team is currently hosting the Indiana Hoosiers at Martin Stadium, and the current score is 1-0 in the first.
Now, we have no problem staying on pitch here at Sports Night as we move to men's soccer. The Wildcats men's soccer team is led by Coach Tim Lenahan, the winningest coach in Northwestern history, and he's trying to cut his team to a competitive level. The team currently has a record of 4 wins, 5 losses, and 4 ties, and are in the main part of their Big Ten schedule. They're led by senior Camden Bisher, who has a team-leading 3 goals and a shooting percentage over .500. Now we move on to the men's soccer action versus Penn State, where they ended up with a 0-0 tie. For the Northwestern, Del Valle has 2 shots on goal, and the team total has 17 shots and 7 on goal, while Penn State fared not much better with only 3 total shots on goal and 7 saves by their goalkeeper. Up next, the men's soccer team goes up against DePaul, where the Northwestern was getting ready for their fight against their city foe. After a couple of cross-field passes, Tommy Katsinyatsis pass finds the head of Garrett Operman for the goal, and the Cats lead 1-0. But the Blue Demons would not go down without a fight. Captain Harry Hilling serves up a cross on a silver platter and finds Jack Richards, game tied at 1. Now to the double overtime. The Cats think they have found the game winner, but it gets called back for goalie interference. Game ends tied 1-1.
Now, basketball season is still a few weeks away, but Coach Collins and his staff have been working hard on the recruiting trail. Here are a few future Wildcats to look out for in future years. Robbie Barron, a 6'9" power forward out of Richmond, Virginia, ranked number 100 by ESPN, chose NU over Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech. He is currently the highest ranked player NU has ever recruited according to 24/7 Sports. And Jared Jones, a 6'9" power forward center out of Powder Springs, Georgia, a 3-star recruit committed a day before Barron. Now, another recruit to look out for is point guard Daniel Bowie from Gold Academy in Bethel, Maine. All are set to graduate in 2019 and make their way on campus in 2019-2020 season. Be sure to follow Sports Night throughout the year for updates on recruiting across various sports.
Now, this past weekend, Northwestern's women's tennis hosted 13 different teams from around the country in the Wildcat Invite in Evanston. The 3-day event included top-ranked schools like Michigan, Illinois, and Kentucky. In singles, Lee Orr continued to impress after last season's by making it to the championship, while Vanessa Strang finished second in her tournament flight. Senior Wildcats star Rhea Doshi won the third-place match of her fight. Julie Byrne, Inky Otu, and Caroline also won the consolation finals of their respective flights. Next week, the Wildcats will participate in the ITA Midwest Regional in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
The cross-country team was one of 19 teams at the Joe Payan Notre Dame Invitational. Junior Audrey Roberts raced out to a personal best time of 16 minutes, 51 seconds, and 78 hundredths, a 6th-place finish overall. A couple of first years in Rachel McCardle and C.L. Kearney put on dazzling performances, each of them finishing under 18 minutes.
And coming up after the break, we take a look at the field hockey team. We'll be right back.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Yeah.
Go Northwestern, break right through that. With us. cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Evan, have you ever tried to play field hockey?
You know, that's a good question, but honestly, I've never picked up a stick in my life. Let's just leave that to the athletes.
Good idea.
The field hockey team invaded the state of Michigan for back-to-back games against the Wolverines and Spartans. After losing 3-2 to the Wolverines, the Cats were looking to salvage a 1-1 road trip. Out to East Lansing, Michigan, we go. The number 10 Cats playing in chilly, very cold, East Lansing, Michigan. Early on, Northwestern moves the ball up the right flank. Through traffic, they're going, but the ball goes out of bounds for a corner. Now a little bit later, the first goal of the game belongs to Kirsten Mansfield on this beautiful assist by Puck Patena, as the goal would come off of a deflection into the bottom corner. Now a bit later, Northwestern would draw yet another penalty corner. What is going on in this game? So many penalties. Now a little bit later, Puck Patena finds her own goal, assisted by Kristen Mansfield and Eva Von Ott, and the Cats would hold on to win 2-0.
Senior Puck Patena passes to sophomore Mackenzie Keegan, who hits the post. As we move on in the action, down 1-0 in the second, penalty corner for the Cats redshirt junior, Kirsten Mansfield passes to Puck Patena for her 9th goal of the season. And late in the second half, Ohio State with the penalty corner knocks it in for the OSU's 2nd goal of the game and what would prove to be the difference maker.
We are now joined by the Daily Northwestern's Joe Wilkinson to talk about Northwestern field hockey. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Evan?
You know, I can't complain. It's sports night. Okay, let's take a look back at the Ohio State game for a second. What are some of your main takeaways?
Well, the Ohio State game is a pretty evenly matched game overall. Ohio State only had one more shot than Northwestern, completely even second half all around. Northwestern's really struggled to score from open play this year, and we saw that again with the penalty corners. And once again, it was a pretty close game overall. Northwestern just came out on the wrong end of it.
Those tough games, man. And moving forward, who are some individual players to look forward to?
Well, obviously we mentioned Puck Patena. She's the star player of the team. She's got 9 goals. She leads the team in assists. She's just basically the engine of the offense. So if there's one name to know on Northwestern field hockey, it's Puck Patena. Beyond her, Kirsten Mansfield, who we saw with the assist and the goal against Ohio State, she's really the anchor of the defense and also plays a key role in the offense, so she's kind of a two-way player who you want to look out for as well.
And it's no secret, we're all about championships. So what are the chances of this Wildcat team winning the Big Ten?
Unfortunately, I've got some bad news about that. Winning the Big Ten is going to be really hard for Northwestern. They're both going to have to beat Maryland and Penn State, who are two of the best teams in the conference, and they're going to need some help. Michigan is sitting on top of the conference right now, and they play Michigan State, who we just saw is not very good, and Ohio State, who they've handled in previous years. So it's going to be an uphill battle for the Cats to win the Big Ten.
So what you're saying is there is a chance?
Oh, there's definitely a chance, but I wouldn't say it's a good chance.
All right, well, if you want to find more of Joe's work, be sure to check out thedailynorthwestern.com. Joe, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Now out to the links. The Wildcats women's golf team started off the season hot, finishing 4th at the Dick McGuire Invitational in a tough 16-team field. They followed that up with a strong showing at the Elite Intercollegiate Tournament Royal Golf Club in Minnesota. And most recently, they finished 4th in a very talented field at the Windy City Collegiate Classic. So far, the team has been led by senior Stephanie Lau, who is shooting 4 under on the season, and newcomer Kelly Sim, who has 2 top 10 individual finishes this year.
The men's golf team played at the historic Erin Hills Golf Club for the Marquette Intercollegiate. The Cats started off the tournament strong, but let's see if they could finish it off. Roll the tape. It was quite the day for the Wildcats, who finished at the top of the leaderboard, beating Arizona State by 2 strokes to win the Marquette Intercollegiate at Erin Hills. Senior Ryan Lumsden came to play as he took home a championship of his own, tallying a 54-hole score of 8 under 207. He utilized the final round of 67, which included 5 birdies and no bogeys in the last 14 holes to slingshot his way to a victory. For his solid performance, he was awarded the 2nd straight Big Ten Golfer of the Week honor. This is Lumsden's 2nd career individual title. Sophomore Eric McIntosh and first-year Lucas Beck also were successful, as they both finished for 10th place. For both of them, this was their first ever top 10 finish in their collegiate career. Junior Everton Hawkins tied for 16th place, while first-year David Nifall rounded out the team, finishing tied for 25th. Northwestern is back in action on October 14th and 15th at the Chatham Hills Collegiate Westfield in Indiana.
Up next, we have the Northwestern women's volleyball team. They started off the season hot, going 10-2 through 4 tournaments across the country. Now, recently they have struggled a bit in the Big Ten play, as there are 5 teams ranked in the top 10 from the Big Ten. However, this team is building for the future, as they have 15 underclassmen on the roster out of 17 players, being just the 2nd year of the rebuild under 2-time national champion coach Shane Davis. Last Saturday, the Cats took on number 7 Illinois at Huff Hall down in Champaign. Picking it up in the first set, the serve was received by Hannah Laziak and set beautifully by Balmer, slammed home on the outside by Olivia Viscuso. Cats, however, come up short in the first set and drop it 25-13. We pick up the action in the second set. The Cats looking to stay in it, and we have a kill right down the middle of the defense by Alana Walker. However, Illinois proves too tough as they take the second set 25-17. Finally, they close it out with Jacqueline Quaid on the outside attack, and Illinois wins in straight sets.
The fencing team is looking to take a stab at last season's historic mark. Yeah, that was a bit cheesy, but 1 year ago, the fencing team won a program record 47 wins and won their 2nd Midwest Conference title in 3 seasons. But with every year brings new faces. There will be 6 new fencers on the team, and according to Coach Zach Moss, this class adds a lot of depth to our program. This group brings drive, international experience, and terrific enthusiasm. The Wildcats kick off their season tomorrow in Milwaukee for the USA Fencing NAC.
Sink or swim? Well, these Wildcats are swimming. We welcome this year to campus Jerry Kipp, the new director of swimming and diving. Kipp is the 3-time Mountain West Coach of the Year at Boise State for the past 3 years. He's also spent 8 years as an assistant coach at the University of Southern California. He's looking to lead a Northwestern swimming and diving team to heights unreached in the Big Ten and nationally this year.
Now, on a sad note, in the world of basketball, longtime coach Tex Winter passed away last night at the age of 96. Winter coached the Northwestern men's team from 1973 through the 78 season. He was also an assistant coach for the Chicago Bulls during their championship run in the 90s. He was one of the pioneers of the triangle offense. Now, coming up after the break, it's Plays of the Week. Don't go anywhere.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Go Northwestern, break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Now, Patrick, do you have one favorite sports moment of your entire life?
Well, I'd have to say my favorite sports moment came from the Chicago Bulls. Now, I'm a Chicago native, born on the South Side in Bridgeport, went to school in the West Loop, and my favorite basketball player is not Michael Jordan. He wasn't popular during my time. It was Derrick Rose. Lord, please help his knees. But my favorite Derrick Rose moment had to come in the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron James. Now, Derrick Rose catches the ball, fadeaway three, wasn't his song suit, nets it. Pure cash money. And for once in my life, I had thought that the Bulls had finally overcome that big thing known as LeBron James. However, I was wrong, and the Bulls gave the finals pathway to LeBron James, which would be part of his 8-year stretch in the East. Yeah. But he's finally gone.
That's true.
But D. Rose is also gone. Jimmy Butler is creating havoc in the Timberwolves practice facility, and our point guard is Chris Dunn. You can't get everything. How about you, Evan? What was your favorite sports moment?
You know, going back to that moment for a second, I was supposed to go to that game, but my dad told me at the last second, no, you're not going. But I'm getting word out of our ear that it's time for us to go to the best part of the show, Plays of the Week. Let's roll the tape. Coming in at number 3, we go to Spartan Stadium. Just at the end of the third, Clayton Thorson finds Cam Green open for a 21-yard touchdown as the Cats regain the lead.
At big number 2, we got Josh Motterwell on the pitch. He tries to cross it in the box. No one could get a head on it, but the ball finds Tommy Kosniaks. He volleys across into the box and finds Garrett Opperman for a beautiful header score.
And the moment we've all been waiting for, coming in at number 1. Thorson throws a teardrop beauty of a pass into the end zone to a diving J.J. Jefferson for a 34-yard strike, and we all know what happens. The Cats go on to win the game. Well, our guy Ben Boken is telling me that the show is now over, but please be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Alongside Patrick Timlin, I am Evan Denton. Have a wonderful night, Evanston.